Try this recording one more time. All right, looks like we are recording, so welcome officially. All right, so one final note on accountability partners. If you do not have one or you want additional accountability partners, please let me know. Some housekeeping on accountability partners. It is super important that accountability partners take this seriously, okay? There are some people in this room right now that have that are very serious about their business, very serious about their goals. And as we all know, it's challenging to do this alone. And so we really are relying on our accountability partners to help. And so please don't let yourself down, and please don't let your accountability partner down. Like we used to say in the ALC meetings, if you're signing up for a commitment to, right, somebody's making a lot of noise. I'm just going to mute everyone for a second. Okay.
It's Natasha.
All right, I cut you off, Natasha. If you want to speak, you just unmute yourself, okay? Cathy Ray, you're funny. Cathy Ray is going to be a good accountability partner because she just called Natasha right out. All right. These people are counting on you. This business is hard by yourself, and it's really important to have a peer and a partner to help make sure you're doing the right stuff every day. Okay, so if you can't live up to the commitment that you've made to your partner, just say, hey, you know, today it's just not working out. You're a great person. I can't be the accountability partner that you deserve, so I'm going to back off, and I'll help you find one. Okay. And then if you're feeling that way, you need to call me right away and say, hey, I'm having some hard time with motivation or commitment or my schedule. I got a lot of stuff going on, and I need to rework how I'm thinking about some of this stuff. And that's okay too. No judgment. Okay. Anyone have any questions on accountability partners? All right. So the schedule today from 11 to I think 12 is going to be Gary. From 12 to 1 is going to be a workshop on the GPS. Ideally, you will finish that session with a GPS that is relevant to you, that you can start to work off of immediately, or at least send to me for the first round of feedback. From 1 to 2 is going to be a 4-on-1 meeting, same thing. One sec. What are you looking at? There's one right there. Or just take that one. Yeah. Or there's one in the kitchen too. On the counter. Okay. You ought to leave that 4-on-1 meeting also with a 4-on-1 that is practical. It's a little bit more complicated and it might take more than an hour, but at least you should have a draft that you can start working off of. My goal is for all of us to work off of a 4-on-1, me included, and I'm willing to share my 4-on-1 weekly with everyone in the program. And I want you to know that I will be more than happy to receive your 4-on-1s weekly to make sure that you're staying on track. Okay. And don't forget, this is not just about business. This is about everything that you've determined is important to you, right? So if it's a financial goal, if it's a traveling goal, if it's something to do with your family or supporting a charity or learning something, I don't know, it could be a new language or studying a particular subject, whatever it is. If you have decided that that is important for you, this is your time to put it on the 4-on-1, and then we're going to put it on your calendar, and then it's going to happen because you're going to have me and your peers and your accountability partner to make sure, among others, to make sure that stuff gets done. Cool? All right, I'll unmute everyone. Does anyone have any questions on that? Just take that one. Okay. Next thing I want to talk about is the WhatsApp group. So I think most of you guys know this, but I'll just quickly go over it. We've now got 2 WhatsApp groups. One is going to be for announcements, and one is going to be for help, essentially. So I've been posting primarily on the announcements page, just saying, hey, here's another Zoom link if you want to tune into this class that KW is putting on, or some other agent's putting on, or the office is putting on, or something like that. And you know, anything from a quote or an inspirational video or whatever it may be, that's the forum that we'll use that for there. If you have questions about the business or questions about contracts or offers or negotiations or any of that kind of thing, I think that is the format that we've all decided will be for the what we call PC help community. Does anyone have any questions on that? All right, we're doing good here. And I want to thank, I think it was Michelle that made that recommendation. I am very open to all these kind of thoughts and ideas, and please please let me know if something like that pops up and you say, hey, wouldn't it be cool if we did this, or wouldn't it be cool if we did that? Just shout it out, okay?
Okay.
Any thoughts, questions on that?
Thank you, Michelle.
Kathy, I see you fixed your spelling error on your name.
Yeah, Ray did that, and I never knew I could fix it.
Nice. All right, let's talk a little bit about reporting. So every Friday, I'm going to send out a link, which is going to be a request of you guys to make your reporting. The reporting is the following items. I'm just going to read this off very quickly. It is hours lead generated. It is hours practiced. Hours in command, which please somebody remind me to do that, to come back to that. Contacts. Contacts is a two-way communication about real estate with somebody. Okay, so if you send them a text about real estate and they don't respond, that's not a contact. If they respond back, that is a contact. Two-way, it can be done through social media, texting, Zoom, meeting in person, whatever it is. Talking about.
And it could be somebody from your sphere, correct?
That's exactly what it is. Most likely.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about like new people, but it could be pretty much anyone you know. It just has to be a two-way conversation about real estate, correct?
Or somebody you don't know. A contact would basically be just a two-way exchange with a human being about real estate.
Okay.
Okay. If it's somebody that's not in your database already, and you've collected enough information to communicate with that person in the future, that person should be tabulated as a database add, right? That's somebody that you've now put into your database.
Right.
Cool. Appointments set, appointments held. The reason why we track both of those, of course, is because if we're setting, let's say, 6 appointments but only holding 2, we have to examine what's going on there. Okay. If we set 1 and set 1, great, but now we want to move towards setting a few more. Okay. Contracts written, that is when you work with a buyer and you submit an offer, essentially. That is not when it goes under contract. That's pendings. And then we'll track closings and we'll track GCI. Okay. So it looks like there's at least one person here that I'm assuming. Pam, are you really making $544,000? Nice. So we want to make sure it looks like you did some, that may be some work on opportunities. So make sure that's GCI rather than total volume. But if it is GCI, I might come over there and give you a big hug. Can you hear me, Pam? Is Pam on?
She's muted.
Yeah, she's texting.
All right. Okay. Does anyone have any questions on reporting? Any questions on reporting? I don't want you to put down zeros, but if you have 0, if you've earned a 0, I want you to put down a 0. Okay. And the idea there is it's just reality, right? It's just reality. That means that you didn't add anyone to the database, you didn't practice command this week, you didn't book any appointments, you didn't hold any, you didn't sign any contracts. It just is what it is. So now we have to go back and try to figure out what activities did we do or choose not to do that week that led us to the results we got, and how can we be more efficient or more productive in the week ahead. Make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's talk about this. Everyone see this book?
Yes.
Okay. I tell you, in 2000 and maybe 15 or 16, I bought a case of these books to hand out to recruits. Okay. And I still have 9 of them. And then the market just went crazy, and I never thought I'd have to give them out again. Okay, guys, we're in a shift. The market's not going to probably fall apart, but the foundational lessons in this book need to be re-examined right now. Okay, you can get a copy of this on Amazon very cheaply, a couple bucks maybe. You can also listen to it. I'm almost certain, and I'll go back and look for this, but there should be by the way, on YouTube, there's a ton of basically audiobooks. So you can just type in the name of the book and audiobook, and at least 50% of the books that you might like to see or listen to, you can have a recording of it, of somebody reading it on YouTube for free. And you can speed up the pace of it. So instead of hearing somebody saying, "We are in a shift," it can be like, "We're in a shift." Boom, boom. And you can listen to like a 10-hour book in like 4 hours. It's sometimes I can handle it, sometimes I can't, but I try all the time. So guys, this is super, super important. Okay. I also sent out a message. I think it's at 10 o'clock this morning. There's a gentleman named Seth Campbell, who is a multi-office, multi-market center OP. He's the owner of 5 Doors Expansion Network, one of the biggest expansion networks in KW. He's doing a class on shift, topic number 1 in shift. So topic number 1 is get real, get right, mindset and action. So I just want to take a moment to go through a little bit more about that. So mindset and action are probably the 2 most important things we can be talking about right now. Okay. And I sent a link to the Seth's class in the chat, in the WhatsApp chat. So number 1, we have to understand that we are in uncharted waters right now. And even if we weren't, you got to get your head straight. Okay. We have to understand that there are things that are most likely going to happen that we would have never expected to happen. Right? You can't even sit down in a restaurant anymore. The mayor of Atlanta says no more groups of people over 250, and almost immediately after that, they said the CDC says no more groups over 50. Right? So there are changes that are happening all day, every day. The market, when it opens, is probably going to go way down. The stock market, right? So the federal funds rate was lowered to 0 yesterday. By the way, that is not mortgage rates. That is the federal funds rate. That is the interest rate that banks charge to one another. That has nothing to do with the interest rate. They're sometimes correlated, but it's not a direct impact on rates. Make sense? Interest rates, I should say. Does that make sense, everyone?
Yes.
Okay. So we need to make sure that we're thinking properly. There's a lot of this that we're not going to be able to control. You got to focus on what you can control. What you can control is what you allow to get inside your head, right? Who you're spending your time with, right? What you do with every minute of the day. We're going to be around our kids more. We're going to be around our neighbors more. We're going to be inside. There's going to be a lot of interesting and unusual things. We've got to make sure that we're being careful about how we spend our time. And please understand that this is the case without coronavirus, but we need to be thinking about activity. If we're doing a lot of activities, we're not going to put zeros up on the board. Okay. So everything we do, we got to say to ourselves, is this helping my business move forward? And is this growing my database? And is this growing my knowledge base? And is this helping me get closer and closer to an appointment at some point in the future?
Mhm.
Michelle,
So
I
wouldn't you,
definitely agree with you.
yeah, that wouldn't you agree that this really is an opportunity, much like the book The Shift, to grab some market share? Because there'll be realtors who are going to lay out and just say, oh, well, and
Absolutely.
things that
Absolutely. I
you can
think
do
it's,
to help the community. Moms and dads are home, so now you can catch them on the phone. You know, I sent out probably 100 texts on Friday that just said, all my friends and neighbors and clients, you know, stay well. And Michelle Slater, Keller Williams Realty at the bottom of it. You know, just it's a touch, but it's a reminder that, hey, I'm a real estate agent, you know, and they're like, oh, thanks, you know, you too.
exactly. And that is also a touch that is not it's not salesy.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
And like I mean, there's all kinds of needs in the community right now, right? The elderly are worried about getting groceries, and obviously getting sick. There are kids that, you know, rely on their schools to feed them. That these are children that, I mean, there are resources available where the families can go and pick up the free lunches for their kids. But, you know, what if you don't live near one of those spots, right? There's a lot of needs in the community right now. And this is a chance where you could go out there and at least make yourself available, right? Say, hey, I'm in the community. If there's anything I can do to help you, let me know. Are they going to call you and say, hey, I need you to make me dinner? No, they're probably not. Right. But it's the thought that counts. And when you're visible, that's going to make a huge impact in terms of in a time of crisis. Remember, the leaders will show up in times of crisis.
Yep.
Makes sense?
Yeah, Elena Corbett had a really great Facebook post, and I copied it and made it my own. And then 3 more realtors copied and pasted my post.
What did it say? Which one are you talking about?
Elena Corbett made a post about, here's some things I can do for you. And she was just kind of a post created to her sphere. And it had real estate related items in it, but it also had just neighborly items in it. So I copied it and catered it more to make it mine.
Yeah.
And posted it. And then I saw 3 more realtors, some not even from our office, copy and paste mine verbatim and put it on their Facebook page. So y'all are welcome to go look at my Facebook page. Some of you new agents that I don't know yet, and see what it was that I posted. It had a lot of likes.
Nice.
It's Michelle Slater on Facebook.
I'll keep this shift for myself since I just called it. Okay, so a couple things. I'm at my house for a little while. My wife and son are headed to the doctor now. My son's a little sick. We'll see what's going on. And I will most likely be in the office a little bit later, but all the stuff will be recorded and videoed in the future. I'm going to ask that you guys at least read or listen to the first section or the first tactic of the shift book in the next couple days. Fair enough?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's see. These links are open. Anybody can participate. I have sent out the links to many of the people in the office who I believe would benefit from productivity coaching, and you can feel free to share them with whoever you want. So if you have a friend at a different market center or a different office entirely, company entirely, please share it. And what Kim, let us know what we need to do to help you, okay? And we'll kind of take this, kind of day by day, okay? if anyone needs anything or has a question, please let me know. I talked to one of our teammates last night who was in the process of writing an offer. So congratulations to her. And there was a couple things in there that I wanted to make sure I didn't feel like she quite understood it properly. She does now, of course, but I'm realizing, and we can talk about this a little bit Wednesday with regards to contracts and offers to make sure that we understand some of the basics. And anything else anyone wants to share? Let me go back to the chat and see if I missed anything.
Hey, Bill, I had a quick question.
Sure.
On Friday's class, you had given us that spreadsheet.
Yes.
And I thought it was on a Google Drive, but I couldn't find it.
It's not on the Google Drive?
I just couldn't find it. I don't know. Maybe it is, but
All right, let me take a look real fast. And if it is not, I will put it there right away. Yeah, it's called Economic Model. It's an Excel spreadsheet.
Let me go back and see, because maybe I was doing it late last night, so maybe I was half asleep or something.
Oh, and then we have a new week for DTD2. So the schedule is to call people whose last name end in T and J, and text people whose last name ends in H. Does everyone understand what that means?
Yes.
Okay. So T is in Tom and J is in Jason for calling, and texting is H. I think particularly because a lot of us are at home right now, I'd probably go, I would just text as many people as I possibly can. I'm going to be the biggest texter in town today. Okay? All right, so I will see you guys back here at 12 o'clock. And I encourage you all to participate in Gary's session at 10 and Gary's session at 11 and Seth's session at 10 if you're able. And don't forget, go have some conversations and let's build our businesses and our databases, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
All right, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Did you find it, Bill? I didn't see it still.
It's there.
I still don't see it. Okay. Share me.